Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Unfiltered. Hope you guys are doing amazing, and thank you for still sticking around. Now, today's guest who's joining me feels like therapy on its own. Her name is Nehal Belani, who's a Reiki master, a breakthrough NLP coach, hypnotherapy and timeline technology practitioner, EFT practitioner, and a meditation trainer, and also a tarot card reader. Now, that's a long list of titles, but behind all of them lies one thing, right? Which is energy. Now, the energy we carry, the energy we share, and sometimes the energy we need to heal. In a world where everyone is either numbing the pain or broadcasting it on social media, Nehal helps people reconnect, whether it's with their emotions or their subconscious. And I think most importantly, it's with themselves. So today we're going to be diving deep into the art and science of healing. The balance between emotional release and emotional responsibility, and how we can all navigate this world of public vulnerability and private pain. If some of you are wondering, right, a breakthrough NLP coach is a professional who helps people make deep, lasting changes in their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors using techniques like neuro linguistic programming, which is what the NLP stands for. Often in it's a combination with other coaching and therapeutic methods and techniques. And an EFT practitioner is someone trained and certified to guide people through what you would call it an emotional freedom techniques, which is what EFT stands for. And you can also call it the tapping therapy. So basically, like, it's the tapping therapy that people do. Now, it's a form of energy psychology that blends modern psychology with ancient acupressure, as you will know it. And, it helps release emotional blockages, stress, and even like unwanted physical pain. Because I believe like a lot of people still do not know or like realize these pains that you might get on your nerves, like let's just say your shoulders and things like that, could all be stress related. So today we're going to dive down and we're going to talk to Nehal, and we're going to help figure this out of differentiating emotions and how to differentiate your barriers of pain. So I'm going to pass on the mic and we're going to invite her on to my show. All right, guys, welcome back to Aman's Unfiltered. As you heard my introduction, we have Nehal Belani with us today on Aman's Unfiltered, and she is going to be guiding us through all the steps of therapy that I mentioned earlier. And here we go. Hi, Nehal. How are
Hi, I'm
you?
good. How are you?
I am very good. Thank you. So, welcome
Thank you.
on
Thank you
my
for having
show, of
me.
course. So I've always been intrigued and I've always wanted to know how this journey works, right? And I think I can call myself some sort of an unverified and certified psychiatrist, because since I've had this podcast and I've gone through like with so many people, like after we off the mic and stuff, we talk so much, and it felt really good getting to connect to
Yeah.
people. So today we are going to talk about all of the above that I had mentioned, and I want you to be able to elaborate to me about what they really are. So that list there is literally a rich mix of like healing practices. Like you had Reiki, NLP, hypnotherapy, EFT, which is tapping therapy, right? And was there even tarot reading?
Yeah,
Yeah,
tarot.
okay. So, how did this journey into the world of energy and emotional healing begin for you?
So it actually started when I was 7 years old, which a lot of people don't know about. My mom took me to learn Reiki level 1.
At
So,
7.
yes.
Why?
I don't know. I don't even remember it because I was so young. But obviously, when you learn Reiki,
Yeah.
we get attunements done on our palms so the energy can flow. So by the
Okay.
age of 7, my attunements were done for at least the first level. I
Okay.
didn't practice it. That's another thing.
Yeah.
But it was always within me, you know? And I forgot about it, didn't use it. I had no idea. And then
Mm.
when I was about 22, 23,
Yeah.
one of my best friends gifted me a Reiki session as a birthday gift.
Oh,
She's like, go
nice.
get a Reiki session done. So I was like, okay, I will go. I went back because I couldn't understand it. I went a few more times to
Mm-hmm.
understand what's happening because it was very different.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then I had a breakup. Looking back, I would say it was so silly, but I think that's where the path opened. And I was
Okay.
so heartbroken at the age of 24. I thought my life was over.
Mm-hmm.
I went to learn Reiki level 1 just to find peace and to find some answers. And
Okay.
that's how I guess the journey began.
Interesting. So, this was your personal turning point that made you realize that this was your life's path.
No, I learned it for myself at that point. There was no thing of like, hey, I'm going to do this professionally. I never thought I would. After that, I learned Reiki level 2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
I did some meditation
Mm-hmm.
courses, but I was like, I'm content. I can use this for my own personal growth. And then I moved to India for about 3 years, from
Mm-hmm.
2017 to 2020.
Okay.
2017, I studied a luxury brand course,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got a job there, and I worked in a PR firm in Bombay.
Wow.
Yeah. Not as glamorous as people think it is,
No,
but
no, it's
it's
a
wild.
very wild industry. Like I've been in advertising and PR, late
Yes.
nights and
Yes.
KPI. Oh my God, I
It
don't want
was
to get back
hard.
to it.
Like
Yeah.
events here, I think is still more chill because, as you know, I've also done wedding planning here for about
Yeah.
3 years and I loved it. But I felt like my soul just needed more. I didn't know it would lead to healing, but here we are
Right,
today.
right.
So I learned when I was in that PR firm, what would
Mm-hmm.
happen is I would go into the office, I would literally feel my throat clogged. I couldn't speak.
So were they like panic attacks?
Um, I guess not panic attacks, but just when you're not supposed to be in that and you're still trying to
Oh,
make it
okay,
work,
okay.
my
Yeah, yeah,
body was
yeah.
signaling me this is not
Not
for
for
me.
you. Mm.
I would leave that office and be perfectly fine, like nothing happened. So when I felt a throat clog up, I was like, I'm not meant to be here.
So it's the vibe, it's the energy that
Energy, yeah. I'm
was not
very, yeah,
suiting
I can
you.
pick up. I'm very sensitive to energy.
Right.
Sometimes I just know what's happening.
Mm.
And then after that, I was like, okay, while this thing happened, I did it for a month.
Right.
At the same time, I was like, let's start a healing page, start a healing page, start a healing Instagram page. And I left that and I just started it overnight. And I told my
Right.
parents I want to go into healing. And they were confused. They were like, what are you doing with your life? Like, you know? But that's just the turning point, and that's kind of how it started. So
Mm.
I initially started with Reiki and affirmations. Then I went to learn Reiki. I came back to Bangkok and I did my Reiki master course.
Right.
And then I added meditation. Then I added tarot. That
Okay.
also a calling came. For the longest time, I was like, I don't need tarot. I don't need tarot, but it was meant to be.
Right.
And then everything else followed.
Interesting. So how do these different methods like Reiki, NLP, like they complement each other? How does that work?
I think you need different methods at
Mm-hmm.
different points in your life,
Yeah.
and sometimes a few different things will give you the direction you need versus only one modality.
Right.
So Reiki is amazing. It's beautiful. It's gentle. You feel calm. You feel very
Mm.
relaxed after. But sometimes you need to go to that subconscious. That's
Mm.
where the belief system is, or the thought process that you're holding back that you didn't even know you had in your brain, for
Mm.
example. So then NLP breakthrough helps over there. What EFT helps with that as well to
Mm.
get through the
That
subconscious.
tapping therapy.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
tapping. So all and then even Shoheli healing method goes right to the subconscious.
Mm.
So I mean it complements side by side. Sometimes you need a few mix, sometimes you only need one, I would say.
Okay. So, energy healing often faces a lot of criticism from the medical or psychological community. How do you validate your methods to people like that?
I think now they're being more open. There are many
Right.
hospitals that encourage Reiki side by side with medical healing because it knows it helps. It helps like speed in the healing process.
Okay.
So something that will take a month
Mm-hmm.
just with medicines with Reiki it might take 3 weeks or 2 weeks. You know, it
Okay.
aids. So now science is accepting
Okay.
of it, and I think the subconscious has been studied by science.
And have you personally been in a situation to meet a client who's also taking like medical help?
Yes, I have. And I
Okay.
have helped them side by side, very
Okay.
gently though. But if I feel like I'm not comfortable with it, I do say no or I
Okay.
recommend because I don't believe in doing half and half. I got to be 100% okay with it or I'm going to say, you know, give them other
Right.
contacts that they could reach out to.
Okay. And do you think healing through energy or hypnotherapy can replace traditional therapy, or it should always go alongside?
I don't think either can replace
Mm-hmm.
either. Traditional therapy is about talking. It makes you aware of your thoughts, your patterns,
Yeah.
where certain belief systems are coming from.
Mm.
Then healing and hypnotherapy, and that is energy work and subconscious. So that tackles the thoughts that you don't even know existed,
Right.
but you are functioning based on that. Like, for example, if you have a thought process like, I can't earn money that has created when you were young.
Right.
You don't even remember that that thought
Mm.
exists. Today, when you're working, you'll be like, no, money's not coming. Or you'll apply for jobs that are low paying jobs because you feel like you cannot earn that much. So
Mm.
that's where hypnotherapy and energy healing comes in to help see that pattern and rewire it so you can earn as much as you deserve to earn.
So it taps to the unconscious
Yes,
mind,
subconscious. Yeah.
subconscious mind. Yeah, basically, in
Yes.
my layman term. Okay, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, and let's go back to before. Like, when clients come to you with clinical issues,
Yes.
like anxiety or
Yes.
trauma,
Yes.
how do you decide where your work ends and when to refer them to a psychologist or like a therapist?
So anxiety has many different levels.
Yeah,
When someone is having a panic attack 24/7, then you know they have to go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist,
right.
right? But if it's just like out of breath when a situation occurs, then maybe there's fear based, so that I can work with. I've also worked with clients that do go to psychiatrists and psychologists, but
Mm,
also come to me, so they have a combination of two.
right.
But I do tell them straight up like this is how it is, this is it, and you have to also continue your meds. Over time, you can slow down your meds as you see yourself improve, but not right away. And that too
Mm,
consult with your doctor.
okay. So I'm going to air this out like on my podcast, but after talking to you, I realized about something. So, past 6 months, like now I am thinking about it. Like I have been having shortness in breath, and I can't
Okay.
figure out why.
Okay.
Sometimes because I'm a gymaholic, and I think everybody knows that.
Yes.
I vomit that on my social media sometimes. But yeah, I work out a lot,
Yes.
right? And sometimes I always feel like, oh, I'm having shortness in breath. But it comes to me sometimes before I even sleep, like, หายใจไม่ออก
Yeah, yeah.
and then like I feel like my breath intake becomes half that
Have.
capacity.
Okay.
So I always wondered what was happening, and then after about maybe 3 4 days it goes away, and then maybe and after about 2 weeks it comes
It
back
comes
again.
back.
So sometimes I always feel like I'm tired.
Okay.
So could this mean that I could have like maybe some sort of a fear or an anxiety that I might not be catching on to?
Maybe during the day something has happened that has triggered it. So
Yeah,
when
it's
you
my
go to
kids.
bed,
My kids are
you're
triggering it.
You know it already.
I think so. I don't know what else
But
there could
what though?
be.
Like, what fear do you have related to them?
I don't think it's fear.
Or
It's,
like, what is it?
you know,
Yeah.
sometimes that constant like mama, 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 and it doesn't go away, right? And then sometimes you're like, what now?
Okay.
You know, like I don't want to be like that evil mom
Yeah.
who like doesn't want to prioritize that
Yeah.
your kids. But then sometimes like in our situation as moms, I'm like, how can one person need you so much 24/7? But of course they need you, right? They're kids,
Yeah.
but then you're also human at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
We moms are humans.
Yeah.
There's so much like of my body or my attention I
That
can
they need.
give,
Yeah.
and it's not just one, it's two. I have two kids.
Yes.
So sometimes they're like mama together and I'm like, who do I go to first? Like, you know, so I think like I do realize like, okay, I need to like calm myself and be like, yo, my kids need me. But then at the same time, like I need me for
Yeah.
me.
So I was just going to say boundaries maybe
Yeah.
and setting time for yourself, like religiously, and then kind of devoting that. And maybe when you go to bed at night, all thoughts are running. So
Yeah.
maybe that's what.
You know, I feel like a lot of men included, like a lot of men and women in this day and age, like they don't understand the word prioritizing themselves,
True.
right?
True.
Like because our ancestors, the generation before us, always gave their lives for the family,
Yes.
for their kids. And
Yes.
then if you notice, like you can see a lot of our parents' age, grandparents'
Yeah.
age, that they kind of deteriorate a bit faster
Yeah.
than we would because they forgot to take care of
Yeah. I
themselves.
agree. And they're still in denial of it, I feel, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not aware, like our dad's generation and things like that. I see it. They're like, we're good with how we are. And
But
they're
is it really good though?
no,
Like,
it's
you
not.
know,
It's
yeah.
not. If I have to be honest, it's
Yeah.
not. And some days I'm like, I wish they were a bit more aware, but it is what it is.
Like because back then they didn't talk about depression openly
They didn't.
and
And
they didn't believe that depression was a thing.
yes, they didn't. But depression is a thing. I think many of us go through it without even realizing. And only few of us will be like, I went through it and I'm
Mm.
open to it and it's happened and want to take action. But many just suppress it and are in denial, or even if they know, they're too fearful to accept it, acknowledge it.
Mm.
And I see that a lot. Like you can see signs of depression.
Like if today I go up to my parents and say like, you know, I think I'm going down this path, like this dark
Yeah.
path, like
Yes.
I think I am depressed and
Yes.
something. And like, you know, if the parents be like, you're fine, there's nothing wrong with you, there's no such thing as depression,
Yes. Yes.
like how do we break through that mentality?
So I think support system is the biggest, right? Like even if you have one person willing to hear you out, that's good enough. They can help you. Also breaking through that mentality is literally showing them these are signs. This is not
Mm.
okay. I really am feeling like this, and being very vocal. But at that point, I feel like it's really hard for someone to be vocal when they're going through depression
Yeah.
because your state of mind is not in the right place at that point, right? Like you're overwhelmed with emotions, thoughts. You don't want to get out of bed. You want to sleep. You don't want to do anything. In some cases, you're crying 10 times a day for no reason.
Mm.
These are all signs of depression. Losing weight abruptly is depression. I think it's being more vocal and speaking about it as much as we
Mm.
can, but also knowing that if they're not willing to, how do you say this? If they're not willing to see it the way you see it, it's also okay, and you can go seek help as well
Mm.
without having, like, if someone is not willing to seek that, hey, you're going through depression, it's fine.
Just go
You
to a professional.
Yeah, go to a professional, go to someone who's into energy healing, or someone who's a therapist, or someone, a psychiatrist or a psychologist, whoever you're comfortable
Mhm.
with. Or maybe talk to someone else about it if it's not within your immediate family. I think
Yeah.
many people are very, very aware and they will help
Mm.
you, you know?
Okay. Coming back to that, like, how do you differentiate emotional release from emotional dependency?
So, emotional release is when you are getting rid of the emotions that are stored,
Right.
that are suppressed from years and years and years. Emotional dependency is when you're holding on to someone
Or something.
or something. So when you have emotions that are kept in, and say you read a book and it triggered something and you're crying it out, that's a release, for example. Or sometimes when people come in to my sessions, they do end up crying because we go dig into something that's like, oh, that's been suppressed and they didn't even know they felt
Mm.
that. So that's an emotional release,
Interesting.
right? Dependency is when you're holding on to something to not deal also with the emotion. So today, alcohol, smoking,
Mm.
excessive eating, sugar overload, all of these are dependency because something is lacking within that you can't deal with it. So to cover it up or to come to terms with it, we crave all of these things. Cravings come from a lack of something.
That is so interesting.
Cravings are not randomly happening.
No.
It's coming because there's a lack within.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. And so you've definitely worked closely with people carrying this deep emotional pain.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you approach someone who's closed off or skeptical about energy based healing?
So I get this all the time, right? Because a lot
Yeah.
of my clients will question me,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, you can just come in for a session. Reiki is gentle. We don't even need to talk. The energy will just, I will channel the energy from the universe
Right.
and we'll just go through you.
Mm-hmm.
What I see, I see. And then I don't let them, I don't say anything if they're closed off. I
Mm.
have to build that faith slowly. So for each client, I have to judge where they're at also to see how fearful they are and how closed off they are.
Mm.
Sometimes it takes a couple of sessions. Sometimes in one session, they have their fate changes. And sometimes I talk to them, I give them examples, I tell them how it works. And if they're still hesitant, I said, you can come back when you're ready. There's no force.
Right.
So I leave it on to them because if they come in with fear, then it gets harder for me to give them a session. Like they will not
Yeah.
get the most out of it. And that's not fair to them because they're coming for a session and I want the best for them. So if they're
Mm.
not ready, they're not ready. There's so many times I get questions. I've
Mm.
had full conversations and the person does not come back because they're just not ready for their own reasons. And that's also okay. I believe there's a time for everything.
Yeah. So I also believe, like, when one person wants to go down this path, deep down, they know they need help.
Yeah.
But then when they get there, they kind of freak out and then back off because I don't think they want to be vulnerable.
Yes, fear.
Yeah.
They don't want, because we have not been taught how to be vulnerable. It's safe to be
Yeah.
vulnerable. We have not been taught that.
That's I wonder why. Because I feel like, when we women, we go, okay, let's just say we go for a girl brunch and
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
We open up a lot,
Yeah, we do.
and there's a reason why the universe say that women are stronger than men.
100%.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, because when we find a group, a handful group of girls, we talk about everything. We compare notes. We are like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, you're doing this. And suddenly on that table, there's no judgment.
Yeah.
Right. So you kind of like release all of that
Yeah.
energy out and then you're normal again.
Yeah.
Right. But for men, they've always been taught to be that external, like, how to say, like that role, that figure of the
Yes.
house that
Yes.
cannot break down.
Yes.
And then consciously and subconsciously, they're like, I can't talk about what's happening in my family. I can't talk. Even if you have
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
best male friend, they
Yeah.
still don't do
They
that with
not
each other.
easily. Very rare, I would
Very,
say.
very
Maybe
rare.
now a little bit more so, but
Yeah.
like people older than us, definitely not. I think our age onwards, we're changing
Yeah.
things, I would say.
You think
Yeah.
so?
A little bit. I see
Okay.
change better than there, but we still have a long way to go.
A long way to go.
But it's still happening. So that's very positive and hopeful that it's happening,
Like men need to know like being vulnerable is
is okay.
okay.
Yeah. And they should be
They should
because
be. Like
they
even if you
store,
cried
yeah.
out, it's okay. Like it's not a sign of weakness, but
No.
people kind of like projected it to them that it's a sign of
Yes.
weakness.
So it's all subconscious conditioning, right? You're the man
Yeah.
of the house, you're the
Yeah.
breadwinner, you are
Yeah.
this, so you can't fall down, you can't look low. So then they
Exactly.
turn to like alcohol and things like that when they
Mm.
have to deal with stress and things because they don't know how else to regulate what they are feeling. So I think at the bottom line, it comes down to regulating your emotions, which
Mm.
all of us were not taught. I know I had to self learn it.
Yeah, yeah, I self
And
learned it as
I
well.
hope for the kids
Yeah.
in the coming generation it changes because you should
Mm.
learn how to regulate your emotions, and that's where vulnerability comes in also. And crying, I think, is beautiful because when you don't cry it out, you suppress, and when you suppress so much, that's when diseases occur like thyroid, cancer. All of this is all because of suppressed emotions at the end of the day.
So you think like all these severe medical conditions do come from stress? It's
Stress, yeah,
stress
stress,
related.
suppression.
What does that do to your body? Why do you think that that acute amount of stress can lead to a severe medical condition?
Okay,
How does
so
that
I'm not
work?
a medical doctor, so I
Yeah.
can't do those
Yeah,
terms.
yeah,
But
yeah.
what I see it as, it's like layers and layers you keep suppressing. So as you keep suppressing, your emotional body cannot handle it. So then it comes out in your physical body in terms of diseases and medical conditions.
Yeah.
So when I say it comes out as a medical condition, it's at its peak.
Mm.
Your mental and emotional body cannot handle it anymore, that it's come out as a physical body giving you like a warning that something needs to be sorted and fixed.
Like for me personally, like okay, I work out a lot, so I know and I can tell what is muscular pain
Yes.
from a workout
Yes.
and what is a stress pain,
Yes.
right?
Agreed.
Because like okay, when sometimes I've had a stressful day, even if
Yeah.
it's with my kids
Yeah.
or with whatever is going on, like I have this sharp shooting
Pain.
sciatica pain like going down my spine or over here,
Okay.
then I know that this is a stress
Stress
related
related.
pain,
Yeah.
right? Because if I were to have a workout related pain, it's a complete different pain.
Yes.
How I wonder like, and this is some situations or pains that people ignore
Yeah. I think so
because
too.
sometimes it's like okay, very good example, oh I slept the wrong position, put lie, like
Yeah.
oh tokmon put
But
lie.
like, yeah.
So like and like especially on shoulders, I do
Yeah.
believe that carries a lot of stress pain.
Yeah. So shoulders is where you carry all your burdens
Yeah.
and your stress. That's why it starts aching.
So a lot of people like
And you take other
oversee.
people's load because we have the tendency, right, to
Yeah,
look after our family and friends,
exactly.
and so that's all comes here burden when you're trying to do three people's job instead of just focusing on your
Yeah,
own. And as women, we tend to do it a lot more
a
because
lot
we
more.
want to look after our parents, our siblings, our husbands, kids, wherever
Yeah.
we are at that point in life, and we take their load unknowingly, mentally, emotionally. I get this all the time too.
How do we, I'm going to deviate and divert a bit over here. How do we make men understand that when sometimes, sometimes like there are situations where men will like, you have a good life, like everything's going well
Yeah.
for you, like why are you
Yeah.
complaining,
Yeah.
like I'm providing you with
Yeah. And
everything,
yeah.
like that word complain.
Complain. Yes.
How do we make them understand like we're not seeking attention, we are not complaining, but we're trying to make you aware of what is happening to us? Maybe in certain generations it might not be projected in the right
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
like if I'm
Yes.
complaining to you, that complaint might not be coming out in the right way.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like
True, very true.
how do we make them see like through
Okay.
these signs?
I
How do we
think
break that barrier?
one way to start is firstly to have compassion for them as well.
Mm.
And when we come from a place of compassion, then we can have a conversation and be heard. But when we go and we complain, we're already coming with negative energy because we're ready to be like, you don't do this, we need this, I need this
Yeah.
is it. When you do that, they shut down already. They don't even want to hear it.
Yeah.
Energetically, I'm talking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
physically, they may pretend to hear, but at the back of their mind, they're
I'm
done.
done. I'm not listening to this shit again.
Because you've also come in with that
Energy.
attacking energy or like angry or whatever emotion you're feeling at that point. So they're not going to want to hear you. You're you're reacting, you're not responding. When you react, the other person will never hear you no matter how much you
I
try.
swear.
When you respond, the same thing is heard. So when we come in from with a space of he's doing the best he can, but I also want to tell him where I stand and he needs to understand me also.
Mm.
And I know he's doing the best and this is his capacity. Also accepting their capacity, which is not easy to do, but I think
Mm.
once you do that and then you lay it out nicely to them, maybe one, two, three times they will not get it, but the fourth or fifth they will.
Yeah.
But you see, when your energy changes, they will respond. You react, they will
Mm.
react back. It's not you're just like butting two heads at this point. So I think compassion and repeating it over and over and over, eventually they will get it. Maybe
Mm.
not the first time, but you can't stop because you also have to understand they have not grown up understanding any of this. So this is like new to them. It's like
Yeah.
teaching a child A, B, C in another language. So you have to give it time, right? We
Mm.
didn't learn the alphabets overnight either.
You know, like women,
Yeah.
especially like housewives,
Yes.
you know, who have chosen this path for themselves
Yes.
to take care of the family, to take care of the
Yes.
kids. I feel like the men have to work twice as harder because it's not a dual income house, right?
Yes.
So to send the kids to the best, you know, to give the wife an allowance so she can have her own life for the
Yes.
house and everything.
Yes.
And then you have these wives like as soon as the men come back from work, they're like already vomiting. This happened, that happened. You know, your mom said. Da, 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 da." But I also want these women to understand that your husband's been at work from morning to night. Now he doesn't come back and talk about what he's gone through,
Yeah.
or how many people he might have to
Yeah. Yeah. He
talk to.
doesn't.
Like talking, like let's just say textiles, right? How many suppliers, how many clients do you have to talk
A
with?
lot. I
A
work with
lot.
my dad too, so this is
Yeah.
what we do.
So when now that he's come back home, how do we help them release that thing? Like now, if I have a wife telling you, like, you know, your mom did this while you were at work,
Yeah, and they're just like,
your
I don't want
kids
to deal
didn't,
with it.
and they're like, they're now they're back home being
Yeah.
bombarded with this,
And it's the last thing they want to
and that's
deal
the
with.
last thing they want to deal with.
Yeah. That's why I said compassion, right? Knowing that they've also had
Yeah.
a hard day, but nicely telling them, or maybe telling them, I'm feeling like this right now, but I want to speak to you when I'm better. So
Mm.
I'm not. How to help them, I would say, is maybe set up date nights,
Yeah.
a night where you both communicate how you're feeling and just being more vocal. These are small things that go a long way. Also
Mm.
checking in with them like, hey, are you good to hear me? I just want to talk about a few things. And
Mm.
if they're not okay, they'll say maybe later. I'm tired. I'm this. Okay, that's fine. But
Mm.
when you go when they're tired, the reaction will be different. So
Yeah.
small communication steps that can be taken, that goes a long way.
Mm.
I- and seeing what they like. Some men want a good home cooked meal. And yes, that's biased, but they do.
They do.
Food gives them comfort
Happiness.
and happiness.
Yeah.
They're conditioned with
Mm.
food giving them comfort and happiness. So are we, right? Some days we don't feel great. We want a great bowl of pasta
Oh yes.
and a
Oh,
glass of wine and we're
100%.
happy.
I
So
agree with
we're the
that.
same,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think it's just communicating and being vocal of what the wife needs and
Mm.
also the men saying what they need. It's meeting each other halfway, which I see it doesn't happen a lot.
Mm.
But just small communication tips like date nights or let's talk about how the week went and where we stand. And
My husband and I bantered off on the badminton court.
oh, that's perfect. Sports is a great way too. That's a
and
good idea. Sports is a good way.
and when he's frustrated with me, you can see him like hitting it even harder. And I'm like, okay,
That's
take it out
so
on that
good.
cork.
That's
No,
so good. Yeah. Working out is a good way. Like
yeah,
it really helps.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exercising is a big tool
It's
instead of
amazing.
it's
Like,
the best.
I'm sorry to all my friends, but whoever I'm calling out, like, I hate it when people say, I don't have time for workout. My husband has to get to the hospital by 7. He's in the gym downstairs at 5 a.m.
What time does he go to bed?
Like, okay, we are early birds, right? We
Okay.
sleep by like 10:30 latest.
Wow, okay.
Nihal,
For
if you call
Indians,
me out after 9 p.m., I'll
you're
be
not
like,
coming out
get
easily.
lost.
Okay.
Like, I do
Done.
not want to speak to anybody. Like, I have to already had stepped out of my house at 8 p.m. If I am not stepping out at that time, I am not seeing you today.
Yeah, I get it. No, I understand. I wake up early, I sleep early. I have this routine for myself, even though
Yeah.
I live at home with my parents, but I still
That's why that day when I went to see you guys, I was like, can we do it before
yeah, I
8:30?
know, I realize.
Like, if you guys are going to come out later, I'm not seeing you.
No, yeah, no, fair enough, fair enough.
Okay. So, going back to vulnerability, how do you deal with clients or individuals who confuses vulnerability with validation? Like, seeking healing but also craving public sympathy. I've been always wanting to ask this question.
I think firstly, it's their journey. I cannot change anything if that's what they feel will give them happiness at that point. But that's
Can you not be
valid.
too PC on my show? Like,
Validation comes from seek like comes from a lack, right? We
mm-hmm.
want validation because there's something lacking. So through vulnerability, I go through the layers to see where is that lack. But
Hmm.
if they come in and they are vulnerable with me, I obviously keep that
Confidential, of
confidential.
course.
And outside, if they want to go seek validation, that's their journey. I cannot control what they do outside the session. I can only help them when they reach out, right? I have to also respect
Mm.
it's it's their journey. I cannot change it. Sometimes it will come to them instantly where they'll stop seeking validation. But some people have to work through layers and layers to get to a point of saying, I don't care. I'm going to do what I want to do. But that takes time for certain people to get there because of all their conditioning and everything they have been through in life.
Mm.
So there's so many factors where validation comes. The ultimate factor of validation comes from um, there's a lack within. But sometimes that we've been conditioned, right? Since we're kids.
Mm.
You can't do this because what will people say? You can't do this because what will people talk? That's conditioned from our parents. So then that takes layers of changing. It's not overnight because it's in your subconscious. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but I have so much I want to argue with you on this matter.
Go for it. I'm open to hearing it. Yeah, go for it.
Like, okay, I understand public validation,
Okay.
but is it necessary to bring in all those unwanted energy by trying to publicly validate yourself? Because since we're talking about
Yeah,
energy,
it's
right?
not necessary,
It's not
100%, but
necessary. But like if you're going through a journey that, okay, let's just say you are clinically or medically diagnosed with a certain situation,
yes.
you brawl your um, journey online. Now, you might not know or understand whether are people sympathizing with your
Yeah.
condition or are people laughing at your
Okay.
condition, right? So
Yeah.
why would you want that unwanted energy and those comments onto you,
That's a perspective, but maybe there's another perspective of
which
you
is
using online posting as your way of healing. That could be one. I see there's so many different perspectives on validation.
mm,
And the root of it also comes from so many different places based on what you've been in life. To me, validation will be different to what you're saying. What you're saying, I agree. You're coming and you're going through a journey. you'll be like, I don't need validation. I've chosen this for myself. But that's your thought process.
Mm.
And you're very valid in it. But someone else may not see the way you see because their life experiences are so different to yours.
Interesting.
What I've been through, you haven't been through. What you've been through, I
You
haven't been
haven't.
through.
Yeah.
I maybe I don't have the guts to come and start a podcast, but you did. You know,
Yeah.
or maybe you will not be able to provide healing professionally, but I did, for example, because of my life experience, my journey, my path. And this is your journey, your path. And that's just how I see it.
I could never be a healer. I'm the type of person who'll tell you, I'll be like, shake it off. I'll
We
be like,
need those
stop it.
also. For
Like, you
some
sound like
people,
shit. Like, stop it. I mean, I'm that type of
I
person.
know.
I
You're like,
cannot
I
say.
cannot be calm and
I
content.
cannot. I cannot. Like, I'll be content in my own world, but do not, do.
No,
No.
you have to be very calm. You have to be very gentle because you say one wrong thing, it can trigger someone.
Yeah.
Like, I have to be very mindful because I'm here holding a safe space, not to make them feel like,
Absolutely. No,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
validation, everyone's validation level is different. Perspective, life experiences add up to that conditioning. So many factors.
Hmm.
Today, I can say, yeah, I don't need validation all the time, but I've had to work through it.
Hmm.
5 years ago, I would not be able to come here and talk to you on a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you think like the rise of social media therapists and influencers is helping or confusing people about real emotional healing?
I think it's a bit of both,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the type of content they put. There are people that are overdoing it on certain types of content, like women empowerment, business coaching, where you can tell, like, you can tell where the energy of the content is coming from. It's
Right.
overdone, I agree, but when you're true to what you want to post and get your name out there, I think you
Mm.
can still, there is a market for it. But I believe when it comes to like healing and therapy and stuff, content, you need to put up content you resonate with, not content to get the views and the likes. And, you
Mm.
know, that's what I believe. And that's how my content is. I put stuff I resonate with that I want to put out there.
Like I hate those influencers, right? Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
come out in the open. Like
Yeah.
for someone like you who is trained, um, for you to come out and talk about a certain topic, everyone's gonna listen because you are a trained professional,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But now suddenly, if I'm Kim Kardashian and I come and say like, this is your
Yeah.
emotional journey,
Yeah.
and then you have 1,000 people following Kim
Yeah. I don't
Kardashian,
agree with
and I'm
that. I'm
like,
like,
what is that?
because she started journaling, so she's on an emotional journey. I mean, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't agree with that, and I think it is overdone. But that's also coming from a place of validation, social media validation. Now think about how bizarre this is. You want
Yeah.
validation from people that you don't know
No, at
exists,
all.
you don't know at all, but you still want their validation and their views and likes. And how your day goes is based on how
On
many
what they,
likes and views you
yeah.
get on that one reel.
That's crazy.
But that's the world that's become. And I'm like, why?
I had someone ask me, just like, oh, so you do a podcast? And I'm like, yeah, I do a podcast. And she's like, what's it about? So I explained it to her, right? And then just like, oh, can I see your page? And I have no idea who this person is. She's not even from Thailand. But I'm like,
Okay.
this is the page. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you only have what 300 followers. And I'm like, so what? And she's like, no, but if you're a podcaster, you need to have more followers. And I'm like, listen, the type of topics that I talk about, like, I'm not going to go out there and buy followers. I want genuine followers. I'm here to help people. I'm here to bring out certain topics in the open. So I want people who it's being mattered
Yeah.
to,
I
that are
agree.
going to agree with what I say or disagree
Yes.
with what I say.
Yes.
But my like these need to be genuine people.
Yes. I agree.
I'm not on
I
clickbait,
me too. I'm like that, right? Like
you
my
know?
reels sometimes get only 100 views and it's okay.
Yeah, if I'm changing 10 people's lives, that's an achievement for me.
Yeah, you don't need to do
I
more.
don't need to do more.
It's a domino effect.
Yeah. So then she's
So
like, "Oh, okay, that's interesting." But don't you think you want more followers? Like, no, I'm happy where I
Yeah,
am. Like,
social media has done that,
that,
right? It's made
yeah,
us make us feel worse about ourselves based on people that we don't even know.
yeah,
Like, and it's made us more lonely as a human race.
it has.
Don't get enough likes. I used to go check. Now I'm like, the post is done. I check once or twice. There's a comment, I respond, I'm done. I'm not gonna stress about how many views,
No.
likes, whatever, and it's okay. Who need to know will get the message.
Oh my God, this reminds me of an episode. Have you ever seen Black Mirror?
Yes, I have.
Did you see that one episode on about the likes, amount of likes you get is so basically it's an episode where the entire world is based click based,
Okay.
right? Your stature or your status in the community or owning a house or owning a car depends on how many likes you have. That
That,
episode blew my
that sounds
mind,
bizarre.
but it is crazily true
Yeah,
how they
it
depicted
is.
that. Okay,
It
Black
is.
Mirror is like not faint for everyone,
I did
but
watch the show, but I can't remember that episode.
go back and
Okay, I'm
watch
gonna
that
go watch it. Oh
episode.
my
Like, it
god.
is so scary to the point where along the journey she was supposed to go for a friend's wedding, and
Yeah.
along the journey at the airport she spoke badly to maybe the air crew. That air crew like gave her -1 point,
Oh
and
my
she
god.
became so low in her personal like credential
That she
that
couldn't get.
as soon as she reached the wedding, everybody saw the post and they were like, "You're not welcomed here," and everybody shunned her out and walked away from
That is
her.
so bizarre.
Yeah,
Like, just hearing you say this is making me wonder if we live like this, how stressful would we be? We would be begging people.
you don't understand. Like, Black Mirror
Is
plays with your mind
mine
because
is
so
crazy.
many
Yeah.
episodes are crazy that it can come true in today's day and
It can with
age.
AI and everything. Oh my god, like it's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's also what we are doing, right? Living on these likes and validation. I don't have 10K followers, so my page is not worthy. I need 100K followers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, this is what we're doing today.
I'm happy with just 5 friends agreeing with me.
Yeah. You don't need more.
I don't
And
need
be
more.
content in your own world. Do your thing. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Even one person supporting you is enough. Like, you don't need more. And it's okay.
Okay. All right. So we're reaching the end of our session soon. I have just one or two more questions
Go
for
for
you.
it.
Um, what's the fine line between expressing emotions like okay, we spoke about that already actually. So for someone listening who feels emotionally drained or energetically blocked,
Okay.
what's the simplest self-healing practice they can start off with? Can you share one?
Yeah, there's quite a few. Breathing is a big one. Just diaphragmatic breathing or
Yeah.
any of the yoga breathings, pranayam, all of this really just helps center yourself. Another method is to stand bare feet on grass or ground. That's called grounding or earthing.
I will die. I'm allergic to grass.
Okay, then you do it on bare ground. You don't need grass. You're allergic to grass. I've
I,
never heard
I know,
someone.
I know. I don't think it's grass, but I think it's all those like little mud or whatever. Every time I stand on grass, I get hives.
What? I've never
I
heard
know I'm
this.
weird. I'm weird with my allergies. Like, that's crazy. Okay, go on.
Okay,
Sorry.
but okay, you don't do grass, but other people who are not allergic stand bare feet on grass even 5 minutes and it will really center you.
So it's grounding you to earth like
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah,
You're
and bringing you back to your body.
yeah.
Because sometimes stress or whatever, we start panicking, we're
Mm.
overthinking, and it's just bringing you back to your center and connecting you to earth.
Is that also very similar to people who hug trees
Hug trees is
for
also another way to
right?
ground, but I just
Okay.
walk bare feet on
Okay.
grass. But both work. But I still would say feet better
Yeah,
because
it's more grounding. Yeah.
yes, the soles of your feet touching the
Mm.
ground makes a difference. Meditation is a big one. 5 minutes. You can put on guided meditation on YouTube. There's so many. Otherwise, you can, as you build your meditation practice, then eventually you can do it without it.
Mm.
And journaling, did I say that already?
No.
No, journaling is a big one as well, I would say. writing your thoughts, writing how you feel, doing this every day over time, you will find a difference.
Mm.
Now people ask me, what do I journal about? You can find journal prompts online, or you can just journal how your day went and just
Like
like
Dear Diary.
yeah, and just say
Yeah.
everything. So the good, the bad, and over time, as you keep doing it, you'll start connecting the dots. Deeper things will come out.
Mm.
You'll keep journaling
Mm.
those, and that's also letting it go. So journaling, meditating, grounding, breathing. These are quick tools you can do by yourself. Oh, and salt water baths. They're
Oh, I love
great.
saltwater
Yeah,
baths.
they're amazing. Like every time you're feeling a bit out of it, just take some Epsom salt, put it in a bucket, or
Mm.
even just on yourself and just shower with it. And
It's
it's like
quite
a
detoxing,
yeah,
actually.
it
Yeah.
releases. You know, when you've gone to a party, you come back, you've met 100 people.
It's just
You
releasing
don't,
that those
yeah, you don't
unwanted
know
energy.
exactly because everyone's coming with
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
energies. Another thing is to protect yourself in a golden white light bubble when you're going out.
What
Um,
does that mean?
Basically, you just close your eyes and envision a
Uh huh.
golden white light around you as a
Okay.
protection. So when you go out and you're meeting lots of people, or a few people that maybe your energies don't align with or connect with, then it's just a protection so they cannot drain your energy and you
Mm.
can still have a great time. This is
That's
always my go-to. Like anytime I'm doing something or I'm going anywhere, I'd always protect.
cool. Like my way of de stressing is I do paint by numbers.
That's also, I did that.
I
That is amazing
love
as well.
that.
Yes, that
I
is very therapeutic. Or mandala painting,
Yeah.
all of the art.
I started this during COVID.
COVID, really? I just discovered it last year. I didn't know.
No, because the thing is that I got pregnant with my second son during COVID,
Okay.
and then like the worst phase of COVID, like we
Yeah.
had like 30,000 cases a
Yeah.
day, and
Yeah.
I'm stuck in this four walls. Like my facilities are shut. Like I can't even go down. What do I do?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like so I started it. I
Yeah.
started on it, and it was
Yeah.
so therapeutic.
Yes.
I loved it,
So
and I'm still doing it till today.
amazing. Any kind of art, drawing is also very
Yeah,
therapeutic.
like when we're done, I'm gonna show it off to
Oh,
you.
yeah. I want to see it.
Okay. So, do you have any message or anything you want to tell our listeners?
um, I think just keep working on yourself, being
Mhm.
aware, because what you do today shapes the next generation.
Absolutely.
And we really have a lot of power to bring beautiful change and awareness so our kids or future generation doesn't go through what we went through. And we
That's
can
very
create
important.
a better world. And why not? It just starts with small, simple changes. And yeah, just keep focusing on yourself, being aware, and live life through compassion and love. And that's the highest vibration.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I would like to say that.
Great. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I hope I've definitely had a really good time talking to you about this. And
Likewise.
yeah. Good vibes, guys. Good energy. That's all we want to spread around. Thank you so much for joining me today on Aman's Unfiltered. That was Nehal Bilani for you. And I'm your host, Amanpreet Kalra.